Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to start and grow your solo consulting slash coaching business into a consistent 30K to 50K a month profit machine using a personal brand funnel, but without needing a huge audience or praying to go viral or needing a massive advertising budget or recording content 24/7. That is the hook. Hopefully I got your attention. I know it sounds unreal, but with how simple it is to use AI tools and all the information that we have available online, the playing field is leveled, meaning the ones who commit to making this work will make this work. So I have worked with many business owners to help them scale their personal brand. And although a lot of them have gone all in, making millions of dollars, many of them have also failed because of one of the 5 following reasons I'm about to mention. And for every one of these reasons throughout the video, I'm about to show you practical solutions, all thanks to simple AI tools and years of developing systems to actually help my clients scale their business as predictably as possible. And I've also catered these solutions to people who are stuck around 5K to 15K a month because I'm going to assume you probably have at least some clients that you've worked with and you've got at least one case study that's really solid so you can prove to people that you actually know what you're doing. So here are the 5 reasons first. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna list 5 reasons, and then we can tackle one of them at a time to show you the practical ways to actually scale the business predictably. Now, number 1 is brand positioning. The coaches who fail with this, their profiles online are not optimized to convince people of their expertise. Number 2 is service delivery structure. They price way too little and they spend way too much time with clients because they don't know how else to structure their offer. Actually, just recently I helped a client who couldn't get past 15K a month, and after I restructured their coaching program, in the next 30 days, they collected $48,000 in cash with another $12,000 in contracted revenue. Number 3 is creating content burns them out. They're business owners. They're not influencers or full-time content creators, which is fair enough. So I've created a tech stack of simple softwares and AI prompts to make this process frictionless. You just click some buttons and then boom, you've created 2 weeks of quality content in one afternoon. I mean, you have to do some filming, of course, but other than that, it is as simple as it could possibly be. Number 4 is organic is slow and paid ads are expensive, meaning they're not willing to spend 6 months to 12 months consistently creating organic content just to start getting some traction, but they also don't have enough money or knowledge to use paid ads to scale their offer. And lastly, their lead nurturing and sales process is trash. So instead of getting customers who are willing to pay them a premium price, they're stuck on sales calls with people who aren't willing to pay the full price of the service or program because they don't have the confidence it'll help them accomplish their goals. Before I explain the solutions to each one of these 5 problems, I want to give you a visual of what this entire system looks like. It is simply a personal brand funnel. So I'm going to show you this right here. All right, so this is the personal brand funnel right here. I'm going to just breeze through this because I don't want to take too much time. I have a feeling most of you probably know what this is, but in case you don't, let me show you real quick. So this is your ideal avatar, okay? They are scrolling through social media, doing their thing, la-di-da-di-da-da-da, whether it's through the organic algorithm, meaning they see a YouTube video of yours, or they see an Instagram short form video of yours, or maybe it's through some low budget paid ads, so a profile visit Instagram ad that you have. Either way, we want to get them to visit your optimized Instagram profile. I know I have like X and TikTok and there's other platforms, and also in this funnel, you're going to see me mention emails. I'm not going to talk about those because this is the core, okay? YouTube and Instagram, combine them together, and some ads as well. This is the core. This is going to do most of the heavy lifting. Everything else is going to be just little bonuses. So I'm just focusing on the basics here so that you have applicable information. You can take this and actually make this work for you if you wanted to, okay? So we want them to visit here. So if you have a call to action in your YouTube video saying DM me on IG or visit my profile, same with your short form, visit my profile, DM me on IG, whatever it is, they visit your page. And now they are getting trust at scale. Or you are providing trust at scale through audience nurturing. So IG story sequences that you're sharing, IG highlights, they see your pinned posts, they see your link in bio, which is going to be for your YouTube VSL, which I'll explain later. Either way, eventually this is going to lead them to either become a follower of yours or DM you for your lead magnet, or they leave, right? That's the other option. Obviously, we want to make sure it is optimized so that they don't leave. But if they do leave, then perhaps they weren't an ideal avatar to begin with. So we don't want to worry about that. If they become a follower, you DM them. If they DM you for a lead magnet, you just respond to them. And then you start qualifying them. Either way, you're in the DMs now. You guys are talking to each other. Are they actually your ideal client? If not, they'll continue watching your free content, or we're going to remove them as a follower if it's an obvious spam account, because we don't want to sacrifice your engagement rate. If they are an ideal avatar, now the DM nurturing process begins. Passive nurturing, like I mentioned before, IG story sequences that you're posting, share client success, new content, email sequences I'm not going to talk about in this video. So YouTube, and then there's active nurturing as well. So active nurturing is when you're actually DMing them and you're talking to them in the DM. So you're sending them YouTube videos that you've posted related to their pain points. You send them free resources like a lead magnet, and you just in general be helpful and build trust. And notice how for every single box here is client success, client success, client success, client success, because we want to show to people at every stage and in every way possible that you are helping your clients succeed. That is how you build trust. And eventually, maybe they see a IG story where you're shouting out your program. Maybe you DM them and you let them know, like, hey, like I've got a few spots available. Regardless, they're going to ask to join your program if we do this correctly. If we do this whole process correctly, eventually people will ask to join your program. And then that is when we close the deal, either in a sales call or in the DMs. So that is the personal brand funnel, kind of an overview for you to understand how this process works. Okay, so now that you understand the full picture of how a personal brand funnel works, I'm going to explain the solutions to each one of the problems I mentioned earlier, starting with brand positioning. This is the foundation of everything, because if someone lands on your Instagram page or your YouTube channel and they cannot immediately understand who you help, what problem you solve, and why you're qualified, then nothing else matters. They're not going to be sticking around. They're definitely not going to be reaching out, and they're definitely not going to be paying you premium prices. Most pages are either cluttered, they're confusing, or they're just way too generic. So here's the optimal structure, and I'm going to start with Instagram, and then I'll explain YouTube. Now for Instagram, we need to start with your bio. Your bio must be sharp and outcome specific, not inspirational fluff, not vague promises. We want something like, I help specific avatar achieve specific outcome through your method. This creates instant clarity. Is this specific wording a bit overplayed in the coaching industry? Yes, definitely is, right? Like, hey, I help consultants scale their offer. I help agencies scale their whatever, right? I help whatever. Okay, it is a bit played out, but you can restructure it and get the same point across if you want to be different. Just don't write something vague like, I help people reach their full potential. It sounds nice, but what does that even mean? I had a client where we went back and forth a lot because they had a really, really generic and vague bio like that. Like, and they had it written everywhere. Like, hey, this is what I do. And I was like, well, what does that even mean? Who do you help? So we want to be very specific there. Now let's talk about pinned posts. Your top 3 posts should immediately show your system, your best client results, and your personal credibility or your personal story. These act like a digital first impression. Then we move on to highlights. So your highlights should systematically build trust. We want client wins, we want your process, and we want to show people lifestyle moments that show you living the dream outcome that you help your clients achieve. If you're a fitness coach, for example, you better show people you living your life. Either maybe you're just running around playing with your kids outside, like hanging out with your family. Maybe you're shirtless at the beach. Maybe you're at the gym lifting weights, right? We want to show people that you are living, that you have accomplished the transformation yourself. And a lot of people crowd their highlights with billions of unrelated things. So we want to make sure it is just focused on showcasing you as a clear expert. Next, let's talk about YouTube structure. YouTube is where people spend the most time with you. So it should have one long form authority video that's set as your trailer. It should also have a consistent weekly long form upload schedule, as close to as weekly as possible, okay? And I know this sounds intimidating, especially if you've never done long form content, but I'll explain later how to easily script and film without needing to be an expert writer and without needing any camera or teleprompter experience whatsoever. And you need at least one playlist filled with client interviews. This is going to be really, really important. When your IG and your YouTube are both optimized, people immediately see your expertise, structure, and consistency, and it's nurturing at scale. It's trust at scale, nurturing at scale. That's what we're aiming for here. So the second reason people fail is because their service delivery is a complete mess. They charge way too little, they give way too much access, and they just burn themselves into the ground. One of my clients offered a lifetime one-on-one coaching for around $5K to $8K. Lifetime for $5,000, right? for what should have been a quarterly or monthly fee. Like it should have been like, hey, I'll help you for life, but every single quarter or every single month, you got to pay me $5,000. That's what it should have been. But so obviously, he was drowning in fulfillment. He was constantly stressed, and he didn't know how else to package his service while justifying a high ticket price point. And I'll show you later exactly how I helped it. Another client was offering the classic, we'll work with you for free until you succeed. They were charging around $6,000, so the price point was good, but they had zero contingencies in place, meaning everybody qualified for this guaranteed, even if they weren't actually following the course material consistently. So a few months later, what happened was they were flooded with chargebacks from people complaining that they weren't getting the level of support that was guaranteed to them. These are not bad people. They're not stupid. I don't mean to call out some of my clients here, but they were just structuring their offers more emotionally rather than strategically, in my opinion, right? Because it's like, hey, they're just trying to get cash in the door, right? They're seeing the sales numbers go up. They're seeing more and more people join. They're seeing the dashboard on Stripe or whatever they're using just go up and up and up every single day. So I mean, I don't mean to call them out, okay? But it is facts are facts, okay? So here's the solution: hybrid one-on-one coaching, right? We want to be solo consultants here who are paid very, very generously for our time. So this is the best way to maintain service delivery quality once you pass the 15K to 20K a month as a solo operator. And there's different ways that you can restructure it, but here's how I did it for my client who was previously offering the lifetime coaching offer. His service, the way that he would package it and present it was, contact me anytime you need forever. Forever. Now, what he does now and what we've worked together on is this. So there is a strict program duration of 16 weeks, and he limits only 10 clients at a time. So that way, this creates real scarcity and it helps him price this as a premium offer as well. He also hosts 2 office hour sessions throughout the week where any of the 10 clients can join. He does private one-on-one sessions every other week, so every 2 weeks for 15 minutes. Sorry, 45 minutes, not 15, 45 minutes. And he also gives them DM access to himself in a group chat with all 10 clients in it. Lastly, he also has a video course filled with him answering frequently asked questions. So that way people don't have to bug him. It's like, hey, we already talked about this in this course. You have everything, all the basics are here. And then for the nuances, for any unique situations you run into, that's what the office hours and the one-on-one time is for. So now with all 10 client spots filled, he only has to work around 4 hours per week of one-on-one calls and 2 hours per week of group calls and maybe 2 hours per week of answering messages. So his service delivery takes him around 8 hours per week, and the price, we raised it to $13,000 per client, which seems like a huge bump, but when you are properly positioning yourself as an expert, there are plenty of people who are willing to invest in your program. And if we want to break this down to monthly, since it's a 16-week program, well, he makes $130,000 with 10 clients in the 16-week period. Dividing this by 4 to get the roughly monthly amount, he's now making around $32,500 per month while only spending 8 hours per week on service delivery. So imagine once he increases this to 20 clients at a time, he'll be making more than $60,000 per month while working less than 15 hours per week with clients, which is insane. I mean, I grew up lower middle class or poor or whatever, however you want to say it, whatever the proper way to say it is. But my whole family's filled with immigrants working low-paying labor jobs. So it's a huge belief shift that was required when I first started to understand that there are plenty of people who can afford to pay these high-ticket prices as long as they know it will help them solve the problem. But one of the biggest reasons most people don't make it to this level is because of content burnout, which is problem number 3 that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Now, most coaches don't want to be influencers. They want to be coaches or business owners. They don't want to film every single day. They don't want a camera shoved in their face 24/7, and they definitely don't want to edit their own videos. But also, they can't afford to pay a US-based editor a fair wage. So they usually end up just not staying consistent with content creation. So here is the practical, simple to execute content system based on what I've refined over the years. Scripting with AI. Most AI scripts suck because people don't know what they're doing, but I'm going to show you exactly how you can create your own custom GPT so that when you ask ChatGPT for a script, it'll give you a script that already knows everything about your offer, your strategies, your beliefs, common phrases you use, Basically, it'll sound just like you wrote the script. So I'm going to actually share my screen again for this section because I have a program module that explains this process step by step inside my free coaching program, Project Scale. And yes, believe it or not, this is actually a completely free coaching program. Just DM me on Instagram at Akash Convert if you want access to this. I promise I'm not going to try and upsell you or anything like that. But the only thing that I ask is only reach out to me if you're serious about growing your coaching business. Okay, so let's get into this real quick. While I'm here, I might as well give you a little sneak peek. Okay, so we have all these modules here to help you, timestamps and everything, action items, plenty of resources, a whole entire folder filled with the resources. But we're talking about the UGPT. Okay, so let's go here using ChatGPT. UGPT instructions. Perfect. Okay. So as you can see here, there are plenty of steps. There's examples that I provide. There's bonuses. I provide the actual prompt to use. I'm not going to go over all that. This video is going to be way too long. I'm just going to go over the UGPT section right here because this is the catalyst of it all. This really is going to help you pump out scripts that are written as if you wrote them yourself. Okay, so you create a custom GPT by turning all of your previous YouTube videos into transcripts. There's a free tool here, YouTubeTranscript.io. And you plug them into ChatGPT and you can name it Akash GPT, right? You can name GPT, UGPT. Also, attach the document you created about your brand position and offer. What I'm referring to here is I had some other modules that explain how to do your branding, your positioning, how to create a high-ticket offer, all that. You don't need to check out these modules for that, though. It's just how are you presenting yourself? What is your brand? And then what is your offer? If you do not have YouTube videos, use whatever you've previously written related to your service. If you've written blogs before, emails that you've sent people explaining your service, or any other messages that you've sent to prospects explaining what you do, you can use that. But in addition to this, I also recommend recording yourself for around 30 to 45 minutes, answering the following questions in the most natural speaking style possible. And note, do not answer these in simple 1 or 2 sentence responses. Babble, go deep, tell stories, tell examples, etc., etc. And then here is the question list. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you get that right there. Okay, so now let's talk about filming 2 weeks of content in one afternoon. When you use AI properly and have programmed it to write good scripts for you, I like to take efficiency to the next level and also ask AI to fit short form optimized segments inside of my long form script. So there's little short form segments inside of it. That way, I only need to sit down and record my YouTube video once, and then I can turn that recording into a few short form videos for the week. Now, this is not the same as repurposing content the way that you might be thinking of it, because repurposed content is simply taking long-form recordings and finding 30-second segments that are not optimized for short-form content success, because short-form content already has proven hook formulas and scripting formulas to perform well on the platform. Instead, what I'm doing here is literally telling AI to script a short-form optimized hook and the script and placing that inside of my long form script so that I only need to sit down and record once. So now I don't have to worry about, hopefully my editor can get a few good clips from this for Instagram. No more of that. Now it's, okay, after filming for 30 minutes, I confidently have one long form YouTube video and 2 or 3 short form videos that I know have proven high performing hooks and scripts that I can post on Instagram. But if you suck on camera and you suck at reading a teleprompter, then filming can take hours, if not like the entire day, just to film one video. So that's why the next hack I help clients with is using AI eye contact software. So now you can literally read your script from a screen, from like a laptop or a desktop screen, and the software will adjust your eyes to make it look like you are looking into the camera. It's crazy stuff. Now, the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to preventing content burnout is hiring an editor, because the math makes sense. If your time is worth even $50 or $100 an hour, why would you spend 6 hours editing when you can pay someone $5 to $10 an hour overseas? And if you're afraid that their quality will suck, then all you have to do is make a document with 4 or 5 editing effects and transitions to use and tell them, only use these pre-approved effects and transitions. When it comes to short-form content and preventing the need to go back and forth for incorrect spelled captions, though, what you can do is you can easily provide them with a transcript to guarantee 0 typos. Just real simple and basic stuff. We're not overcomplicating this whole thing. Okay, now that you can no longer use content burnout as a reason for being inconsistent, we haven't introduced the next problem. Number 4 on my list, which is organic growth is slow and inconsistent. I've worked with a few clients who have had real aggressive content strategies and were extremely consistent, but still, it would take around 6 months to start seeing some solid growth numbers. And I know for a fact, most of you watching this video do not have that patience. So the solution is low budget paid ads. As a common theme in this video, right? It is simplicity and it is efficiency. When people often think about ads, they immediately think that they need to hire an agency or a freelancer and they need to run multiple campaigns and they need to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars per month. But that's not true for solo coaches or solo consultants. The truth is 99.9% of you only need one ad campaign. It is profile visit ads on Instagram. You don't need to worry about lead campaigns or conversion campaigns or complicated funnels. Just send people to your optimized profile like I showed you earlier in this video. And best of all is you don't need to add more filming to your schedule because we can simply take all the top performing organic reels that you've posted already and change the call to action and then run those as ads. So this forces the right people, meaning high quality leads, to discover you every day regardless of the algorithm. And for the posts that do take off in the organic algorithm, it's a nice little boost, right? It's like, hey, look, this is like this post is going like a viral a little bit, right? Cool. But you're not dependent on that now. So it would take me quite a while to show you step-by-step how to set this up, how to set up the Facebook Ads Manager, but I do have an entire module of that in the free coaching program. So for those who want that, just DM me on Instagram and I'll give you access to it. Finally, let's go over the last reason people fail to grow their personal brand in coaching offer. Their lead nurturing and their sales process is overcomplicated. They have some sort of complex CRM, a massive pipeline, all sorts of automations, and the way their funnel is set up, once a lead leaves, they never come back. It is a huge mess, but at 5K to 15K a month, the only thing holding people back is inconsistent action caused by unnecessary complexity. So you don't need all that complexity. You don't need the CRMs and the automations. You don't need all that yet. So here's a simple system for you to try out. When you're doing a personal brand funnel, there's the passive nurturing, the active nurturing, like I showed you earlier, right? Now, the passive, just to remind you, is that your content is popping up on their feeds, your IG stories are popping up on their homepage, and also you could be running some retargeting ads. And active nurturing is having a conversation in the DMs without sounding like someone who's desperately trying to sell them something. DM conversations do not need to be complicated. You just copy and paste qualifying questions that you find yourself repeatedly asking everyone who could be a potential client. You send short voice messages, you follow up once or twice, and you leverage your YouTube videos if one of them addresses their exact pain point. You have to let your content do the heavy lifting, and DMs simply establish a connection so they can reach out to you whenever they're ready to work with you. And when they do, sales calls are really simple because you already pre-sold them during the entire process of going through your personal brand funnel and speaking with them in the DMs. And as a reminder, guys, I'm currently running a free coaching program called Project Scale. I'm treating this as like a case study group. I really want people who actually execute. It won't be free forever. It makes no sense for me to coach people for free long term. So if you want to join, DM me on Instagram at AkashConvert, only if you're serious about scaling your coaching offer. And let's get to it. I'll see you in the next video.